Hello people that in the house doing. Today I just here to appeal to people about road safety. As everybody knows, this year has been very bad for road deaths in Ireland on the roads this year. I just want to say to people straight out, it takes only a split second for something bad to happen in a car, in an automobile, in a vehicle. It takes only a split second. Life can flash in a split second. It's precious. Life is very precious. I would hope that people do still probably hopefully listen to safety precautions, because seatbelts, especially seatbelts, I'm on about seatbelts mostly too now. They're there to protect you. They're not in the car for the laugh and the giggle. They're there to help you from not going through the window. And it's simple as that, because I can't tell you how many times I heard of people. I know 2 or 3 guards who worked in traffic. Actually, one of them's a good cousin of mine. I talk to him often about it. And the amount of times he said over the last few years you've seen people go through the window, nearly breaking their necks. And some of them have broke their necks, sadly. And some of them have just, have bad, like their faces are just, from hitting the tarmac, their faces are just, you can't recognise their face because they're that badly moulded from not wearing a seatbelt, getting flung out the car window. So just say to people, it's not there for the show and tell, the seatbelts. Please wear them, because you're more likely to survive if you have a seatbelt on. It's a proven fact, you will most likely survive. Obviously too, about drink driving, I really don't have to explain it enough. I know the government has implemented new laws in the last few years about drink driving. You could drive an automobile a year ago with 2 or 3 pints, but nowadays you can't drive at all without any alcohol in your system. And the only thing I say, I know that some people argue about it. I understand why, because it was there for so long. And I know some people might not have transport to go home and the rest of that, but we have to respect the law. I'm sure the government, in their wisdom, I don't have much faith in this government, but I have faith that they are trying to do their best to stop road deaths in this country. And I would beg people, try and not drink and drive anyway. Try and find the town food home, because, it only, as I said, it takes different part. It does, how to put it? It takes one cell of your brain away, I suppose you could say. If you take one drink, I suppose you could say. And it does take cells. It does take away your concentration too. You might not take it with one drink, but it does take away your concentration. And I just want to say to people, it's better to get home than end up in the morgue. I know it might seem all well and dandy when you have 5 or 6 drinks in the pub, but when you get out on the road, you have to drive a kilometre or 2 down the road. That's when the trouble happens. And just to say to people, I know it's dark, because I said it in a video before about reflective jackets. This is more to pedestrians too. Loads of pedestrians have been hit, sadly, in the last few years. Just to say to people, please wear your reflective jackets. I know they're not expensive to complete. You can go to the OSA, the Road Safety Authority's website, and they send you a free Road Safety Authority reflective jacket. So if you don't have the money to buy a reflective jacket, you can get one of the OSA website, and they send it to you for free. So please, if you don't have one, please go and look up the Road Safety Authority, because they do save lives. They do save lives. You might not take it. You might think they're awkward to wear. Somebody said in my comments, they are awkward to wear, but they save lives. They do save lives. I'm just going to say to people too, and especially in the dark days, people using their mobile phones. This is another big thing in accidents. And I've seen many accidents with mobile phones, especially in Dublin. People on their phones in the middle of the city. Obviously, I wouldn't even go on my phone if I was going through a small town, and in an automobile. But the people going through the city, like I've seen, thankfully I haven't seen that bad of accidents when I was in Dublin, but I've seen a car crash into a few buses. I've seen a car hit the side of a lamppost what's in Dublin because they were looking at the phone. One time I nearly see them hit. It was very lucky. Just coming to think of it now, that car was extremely lucky. Nearly getting hit by the Lewis. It was very lucky. Like the one pass, like you could see them on the bus when I was on the buses. You could see them just scrolling away, didn't care less. People. I just say this to people. Whatever you're at on your phone, right? I would rather use it again than not use it anymore. And what I mean by that is, I would rather use it again than not end up being dead. Because at that moment, that could be the last time you ever see whatever you're looking at on your phone. And you won't be able to look at it again. And if you take my example there, you can look at it again when you get home. You can look at it when you stop, if you stopped on the road a little, little side place, I suppose you could say, and sit in and look at your phone then. Because, as I said, life is precious. We only get one life. We only get one chance. I'm just appealing to people. Slow down, too. Slow down. This is not a race. Motorways are not there to race. It's not a racing track. If people want to race, I'm sure we get them represented in Ireland as Formula 1 drivers somehow. But it is a danger. It's a very dangerous, especially with the wet weather, foggy mornings, misty mornings. I'm just going to say to people, please, 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 drive carefully, drive safely. If you're late for somewhere, you might as well be late than not get there at all. I can't repeat myself enough in saying that, because I would rather be late for work or school than end up in the hospital for 6 or 7 months. I'm sure anybody would. Even if that caused me to lose my job, I would say at least I got there. I didn't end up in the morgue. At least, that's what I would say. That's the way I would look at it. I'm hammering a good hard points down the camera, but my apologies. I'm just stating the truth, because it has to be said, I suppose you could say. And just about fog lights, obviously, in foggy mornings and all the rest. That please, do try and put down your lights if it is foggy or dark, especially coming into the winter time. So yeah, any more information anybody wants to find out, if anything I missed, please look up the Road Safety Authority's website, OSA.ie, Road Safety Authority in other words. So yeah, please people, take it easy on the roads. Take it handy. Don't rush yourself. You will get there in due course, in due time. But, don't mess with your life. Because we only get one life. In a split 2 or 3 seconds, your life could be gone. So always remember that. Always remember, if you remember anything from this video, just remember, accidents can happen in 1 second. Or in 2 seconds. It can happen so quickly that people won't even know it. So yeah, thank you for watching. Please look up the Road Safety Authority's website, and subscribe for more, and bye.